Good evening, everyone. Today I'm gonna talk about two topics. First thing gonna be clean transportation plan. We're gonna share this website. Hold on. This is North Carolina clean transportation plan. We're being just join this discussion and to see how the North Carolina plan to do. And it's a very quite interesting reading, and I think everybody should look into that, especially for the future. It's mentioned about how we gonna be needed for the clean transport plan is because, as you can see, the weather today has changing so much. Like North Carolina used to have a snow, but this year we hardly even have one time snow anymore. So especially not just the climate change, also about the health of the North Carolina resident as well. Especially currently, North Carolina is gonna come to 40 million in the 2025. So, and a lot of health issue have been shutting off a lot of, especially for the health issue. So I'm gonna give you the more outline here. This is the North Carolina transportation plan. I'm just give it very quickly to give you information here. And of course, our team is eagerly work on the EV, the electrical charging station in the future. Especially on this report, my mostly focusing is, okay, you can see how North Carolina we're using 77% of the driving alone, and couple only 8.7, and then walk bike even less than 1%. And then everywhere in North Carolina we travel as between each other's distance is so far away. And of course, when you have more vehicle on the street, highway maintenance fee is high, and then the correlation for crash is almost even higher. The most alarming to this report is the heart health. See the heart disease, the NC rate compared to US rate, the total population, North Carolina for the cancer is higher. And North Carolina for coronary respiratory disease is higher too. And look at those number is kind of alarming for that. And mention about the share ride plan. I think a lot of companies, especially in North Carolina, especially a large company, I think the government might have a program in the future to encourage them to share ride plan. It's not just the regular kind of vehicle, because it's gonna have a new type of vehicle because of the mission for the GMC. So somehow that would be also GHG mission focus. So that is something when I read through this report, I like to share a view about that one. If you see the big city that I used to live in New York, compared to here, New York, we have a subway, we have a bus, we have MTA, we have a Port Authority, and we have all different transit, the Long Island Railroad, Amtrak. So we go many places, and then of course we have Metro Railroad as well. So all the infrastructure, transportation in a big city, then all that. And then you can compare to the city of Charlotte, you can see a very few light railroad on the main street, like Elizabeth Street, nearby the CPCC, and then another major junction of in the South City, and then the rest of the place for the buses. And then compared to the neighbors city like Concord, where we at is about less than 110,000 population, compared to Charlotte has 1 million population. It's like we won't have a bus ride gonna take forever, and somehow you're not able to take a bike to the city of Charlotte. It takes forever to just take a bike there. So I think there's a lot of changing plan need to be enforced. So it'd be interesting to learn about the transportation clean plan. You can look into it and maybe consider in the future your community encouragement, and I think it's also the education program, upgrade for the school bus. I think that a lot of, and into the charging station and changing the way we are providing energy for our car, like innovation for the driving from electrical instead of a gas bill. And this is interest rate. You spend time to, and they mention about they spend a year to get to this report done. This is my favorite, North Carolina. And as you can see, when you come to North Carolina, you have another lighthouse. So that is something I want to share you about this North Carolina transportation plan. Of course, I think some other city maybe have their own different development, and I think North Carolina, we really, really need to focusing on that. Especially I mentioned about the large corporation for the share ride with the employee, and create a program that feel comfortable to share ride with stranger, and of course that, and one person, one individual car travel to work and back and forth, that also need to be changing as well. There's many things that at this point we can encouragement to create program and work with the government. Of course, that definitely had to start with the government to make an implementation and maybe a pilot program to try out, see how that will run throughout the government entity, among the city and the state level, and then gradually into the large corporation, because large corporation will have a funding to put aside to co-op with the government plan. But for the small business, somehow that will need to require for small business join with other small business, and maybe same time working with a nonprofit company to nonprofit organization to work on nice incentive. But I think the first initiative should be education, because I have just shared that earlier is when my son was in the kindergarten and the school's already teaching about don't say no to drugs, say no to cigarettes. So when he home and my husband smoking, he's really, really hate it. So I think school is a great education for the young kids to let them know the cigarette is not good for you because the health, drugs not good for you because the health. So I think those kind of allow the message crossing from the education point of view, just the same thing as we all have one home called Earth. So everybody has responsibility to protect our home. A second part I want to talk about is something for the caregiver. And I want to kind of do a Google search here. I'm gonna put caregiver. So you can see another caregiver site. And here I want to talk about is ARP, talk about is how to find the caregiver support group that is right for you. When my godpa feels his health go downhill, my grandmother start to be she's not a sole caregiver, but I do some time there with her. And I often told her she need to have a caregiver support group. And she did mention about her care support group, mostly from her church. If you have a support group, like a big church, and have a family support together, like my grandmother have, that is really great, because you just need to have they will take you out for maybe get away from the caregiver duty and maybe go somewhere and to enjoy for a while, and then come back to do your duty again. And everything, finding a support group, either is going to be online group. Most online group, they are everywhere, but they may go to the same thing you have, like either they have a heart disease, or they have a dementia, or some sort of a caregiver is the same alike, then they can have that kind of group. And I think every group, it does take time, because I do join several different groups. Like I join different language as well, because of my mother tongue language is Chinese. So I help often to see those Chinese group as well in Taiwan, and kind of know right now Taiwan has 300,000 dementia dementia population right now. So I kind of also watching how the caregiver group there, and kind of share how the US dementia group do. And we have our YouTube channel share about the knowledge for the caregiver as well. So that's give me the resource to look into, because when I do the medical research, I like to look into a world as a whole, not just the US or Chinese community or just a certain part of the world. I like to see the whole world as a whole. So it's kind of give me the view since I was in my radio as my programs go to the entire world to listen to. So somehow that giving you a great importance to find the caregiver group that's right for you. Just share my experience, what kind of caregiver group I was choosing from. I do join some like a heart disease heart support group, because I think heart from my husband's experience, and I kind of share that. So, and also that would relate to it. And dementia, I've been very passionate about that too. And there's another caregiver group, you can look into it, and definitely depending on what you focus. Of course, cancer group is also very popular too. And one thing is draw me differently is LGBTQ, so some kind of like new element for the different organization, and of course the veteran support group or spouse support group. And most of the group could be associated with a different hospital for professional. So they will have a psychiatrist staff, or sometimes a group they have monitoring. So, and no matter which group you join, just be sure, be kind to each other, because the reason you are there is because you want to have someone to lean on, you want to have someone you can talk to, or someone you can share experience with, because taking care of someone is really, really hard work. We've been done that in the past. Even recently, I just not taking care of anyone right now. So it's really long journey, and then throughout my experience and working with a different field, I find this is because when you are a loved one's caregiver, this is not a paid job. This is not something you can say you can step away, or something you had to have a long-term plan to work on it and do the best you can, because you love them, you want to be there for them, and you feel like that's something you want to do, being able to bring them joy. So if that's something is on your journey, and then you definitely need a group to support you with. So finding someone either online or in person it's always the safety first, because even though we are going through the same thing, but we still don't know each other. So I will always thinking about before you invite someone to your home group. I know some people want to do a home group. Before you invite someone, some new people to your home, you want to make sure you know them enough to allow them to come to your home, because I think the safety issue should be number one, no matter which group we want to join. So these are the two things I want to share you about today. This is a clean transportation plan for a ride share, and this one is a caregiver group, whichever caregiver group. And I do create one caregiver group in next door right now, so you're welcome to join us there, because I do believe past, present, and future, because you never know when you're gonna become a caregiver someday, or I'm gonna become a caregiver again. So you just prepare for yourself for it. And always remember, enjoy your me time while you're taking care of someone, because you don't want to overdo it or kill yourself to take care of someone, because you need to take care of yourself first. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's program and look forward to see you next time. Good night. Thanks for watching today. Just like two programs I want to share with you, and hopefully you'll be interested to make some impact. And every time I share the information is about the future our Growing Old Together program. So hopefully you enjoy our program. If you're interested to see more video, or what kind of video you're looking for, or what kind of people you want me to invite to come to our program, please just send me the message and subscribe our channel. I'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.